that has put Gujarat on a global investment map over last 2 decades. The same Vibrant Gujarat Regional Conference is with the same spirit brought closer to the home. Government of Gujarat has organized total 4 regional Vibrant Conference. First was in Mehsana, then Rajkot, then in Surat. Now today we all have assembled in Baroda. That is the seminar for Central Gujarat. Today we all are proud to be a part of this 4th edition of Vibrant Gujarat, and we, Gujarat Energy Limited, are very proud to host this seminar. And there cannot be a better city than Baroda, as nearly 55 years ago, in 1972, the first CGD project of India was pioneered in Vadodara city. So huge round of applause for Vadodara city. And it's really our privilege to be in Baroda on this seminar. I take this opportunity to just inform all of you that we are now Gujarat Energy Limited, erstwhile known as Gujarat Gas or a GSPC group. We are now a fully integrated energy company. Now, I invite our distinguished guests and speakers to please come on the dais. First, I will request Pawan Mundra-ji, Basit sir, Nawate sir, from ATGL, MD VGL sir, and from PNGRB, respected Colonel Abhishek sir. Thank you, sir. We have a very distinguished speakers today, and I am sure we all are going to benefit from a very elaborative discussion. Now I will request my team for offering welcome flower. First, I will request Hitalben to offer Devendra Agrawal, sir. Please, ma'am. Devendra ji will welcome our Honorable MD Madam, Avantika Madam. I request our CFO, sir, to welcome Colonel Abhishek. I request CFO, sir. I request CFO, sir, to welcome MD VGL, Vinay, sir. I request Dipen, sir, to welcome Pankaj ji from ATGL. I request Sandeep Dave, sir, to welcome Nawate, sir. I request Vikas Gangal, sir, to welcome Basit ji. And I request Vikas, sir. Vikas, sir, please welcome Pawan ji also. I request Tarun ji to welcome HPCL State Head, sir. Tarun ji. And I request Naveen Sharma ji to welcome BPCL State Head. So we have a very esteemed speakers. At the same time, we have a very esteemed audience also. Thank you, sir. Now I will leave the audience podium for Pawan ji to start the moderation of the session. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. As Manish ji mentioned, we have very esteemed speakers, and I am privileged to moderate the session for the very, very important agenda out here. So we'll start with Lieutenant Colonel Kumar Abhishek, who's director at PNGRB, and his topic would be to enlighten us on pan-India perspective from transitioning from LPG to PNG.
Good afternoon, everyone. Firstly, thank you very much for inviting for this seminar. On behalf of PNJRB, the board members, I would like to thank Gujarat Gas for being a valuable partner in this Vibrant Gujarat Summit, and also special thanks to Madam for inviting us for this and present the PNJRB's perspective in this important conference. I understand this is a post-lunch session, and that too on such a topic becomes quite boring, but I'll just try to be light. I'll just try to engage you all and bring forward some valuable inputs, what is happening right now and where we are transitioning. As I can see that most of you are looking from oil and gas sector. You all are aware about PNG and you all are aware about its role. So without hopping much, I must tell you that the topic which has been selected today is not only contemporary, but it is also very, very much important and relevant, especially in today's perspective. I shall be giving you an insight about it in the heads as flashed on this slide. But before that, just a lot of ladies are also sitting here. So I am going only to speak about the cooking fuel in next 10 minutes. So what I'll speak, definitely the names are PNG and LNG, PNG and LPG, but we'll discuss cooking fuel, its importance, its relevance, and where we need to go or move ahead. So before I begin, definitely CGD, we would like to give you an update on this, that where do we stand. As you all are aware, CGD stands for City Gas Distribution, and as on today, the entire country has been authorized by PNJRB. From authorized, it means that entire country has been licensed, and the entire land mass except the island, that has been distributed into different CGD entities with a very optimistic target which the CGD entities have put for themselves. That is approximately 12.6 crore connections to be provided by 2034. Now, if we have to reach 12.6 crore from the present 1.71 crore, we have to go approximately 1.5 crore every year. For that, more than 40,000 connection or somewhere around 50,000 connection per day. Presently, with lot of effort, we have moved from approximately 3,000 connection to 9,000, which we are confident that from next month onward, it will reach to 10,000 per day. But the ask from the Honorable Prime Minister is 1 lakh connection per day. He says that for a country like India, such a big geography and such a big population, 10,000 number is quite meager, and I must tell you that he has expressed his displeasure over the achievement which we are, which is happening on a daily basis. However, we are sensitive and we are aware of the effort which the CGD entities have made. It's not like LPG that today I pick up one LPG, reaches a kitchen and install a connection. It takes a lot of effort to reach a household, and we all are aware about it. I hope this is visible to all of you. Okay. So yes, the font is we had planned, but then दिख रहा है आपको, पीछे दिख रहा है, लेडीज आपको नजर आ रही? अच्छा, there are other screens. Okay, thank you. So now just a comparison between PNG and LPG, because today's topic is transition from LPG to PNG. So when we talk about LPG, the first and the foremost important thing which we should know is we are 90% dependent on import as far as LPG is concerned. We are directly importing 60% of LPG, and the balance 40% LPG which we are producing, that too we are producing majority from the imported crude. So overall we are 90% dependent on approximately 90% dependent on imported LPG, and we learnt a lesson during this West Asia crisis that we cannot be dependent on a single source of energy for such an important function, that is cooking our household on one particular commodity. And that's why the requirement of diversifying from LPG to PNG and also to various other modes like electricity. So once the crisis started, you must have heard that the sale of the sale of electric cooktops also had skyrocketed during that particular time. So with this as a preamble and with this as an intention, we aim to shift towards PNG. I have given you a country's perspective, but when we talk about PNG, without talking about Gujarat will be incomplete. As the previous speaker or the person who had given the introductory remark, he told that it all started from this place where we are sitting today. Yes, it all started from this city, and it also started from this state. And today you can say that Gujarat is the only state in the country wherein the energy mix, the share of natural gas is somewhere around 15%, wherein it is very close to the global average. And the Honorable Prime Minister wants that the country, in the entire country's energy basket, the share of PNG should increase to 15%, which is presently at 6%, which is a humongous task. Giving a snapshot of Gujarat, approximately 54 lakh urban household is there, and 50% of the Gujarat is fed by Gujarat Energy Limited, now Gujarat Energy Limited, previously Gujarat Gas. The number of the GAs are also 50% with the entity, with approximately 60% is being 60% of domestic and commercial is being shared by Gujarat Gas, and approximately 70% of commercial connections, 70% of commercial connections are being shared by Gujarat Gas. So that's a huge achievement. And just to give you give another perspective, the board has decided that, or selected 16 cities in the country to make it PNG compliant, 100% PNG compliant or LPG free. And out of these 16, 4 lies in Gujarat, namely Ahmedabad, Surat, Rajkot and Vadodara. And we have a lot of expectation from the entities working in these particular geographies. As I told you about the West Asia crisis and hence the need for energy transition. Now, when we say that we have to move from LPG to PNG, as I had shown you the numbers, 33 crore connections cannot be moved to PNG on a day or on a year or so, or probably even a decade. But when we say that we have to move towards from LPG to PNG, we mean to first connect the urban clusters, first connect the densely populated areas, class A cities, tier 1 cities, tier 2 cities, state capitals, and thereon progressively move towards the villages and class C or D cities. So the whole idea is transition from LPG to PNG is driven by energy security, which is very much important for a country like ours, which is purely dependent upon import. Energy security, urban convenience, reduced logistic burden, and cleaner fuel objective. Now, a question may arise in your mind that in this fuel also we are importing approximately 50% of the LNG. Yes, we are importing 50%, but the indigenous production which is there in this country is sufficient to meet our domestic household requirement. So that is a saving grace for us. Now this graph shows that, during this West Asia crisis, how the figures, how the import figures, how the dependence on LPG, reduced, and how much how dependent we are on imported LPG. We have already spoken about this previously. Though there is no requirement to reiterate the benefits of this particular fuel. Yes, it is continuous, it is 24/7, it is convenient, do not take much space, it is much safer, it is economical. But overall, just to give you an insight or a comparison, because people say that this fuel is costly, this fuel is LPG is cheaper, but this comparison which is there without VAT, this fuel is approximately 12% cheaper than LPG. These figures are for Ahmedabad. Now, we understand that the CGD entities are working very hard day in, day out to achieve their MWP targets, which in many cases are quite optimistic also. So therefore, PNGRB, that is the Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board, as well as the central government, that is MOPNG, through various regulatory and policy reforms have tried that to bring ease to the CGD entities so that its adoption can be fastened. So first and the foremost is single unified tariff for all CNG and PNGD users. This reduces the cost and it helps the entities to make it more competitive vis-a-vis LPG. And thereafter, waiver of imbalance charges. Initially, it was limited to 30th of June. Also, on technical side, also the board is taking various initiatives like introducing MLCs into last mile connectivity, which will mitigate the requirement or the shortage of plumbers in the country. Also, to maintain the impetus, to maintain the momentum, the board had launched a National PNG Drive 2.0 with effect from 1st of January. It was rightly timed because when the war took place in the month of March, we were quite prepared, the entities were quite prepared, and we were able to push for PNG in this particular time frame. Just to give you how the entities have performed during this period, previously the CGD entities which were connecting approximately 2,800 connections on a daily basis from the month of April 25 to December 25, it has risen to 8,800 per day in the current month. Of course, there has been an upward trend in the month of March, which happens generally every year, but we expect that from the month of July onwards, at least we will achieve the March figures, and progressively minimum 20,000 per day connection is the aim with which we are moving. Now, since January to June, just to give you an insight, approximately 11 lakh households have been gasified. So these are relatively okay or good figures when we compare it from the past numbers. However, the task in front of us is humongous. But only good thing which has happened is the policy and the regulatory enablers which has happened during this time period. Central government for the first time came so aggressively and openly to support the PNG at the cost of LPG. And the most important were the two control orders on 14th March, which was further amended on 25th May on LPG, wherein all those, wherever the PNG connection had reached the LPG consumers, the LPG connections were to be surrendered. Today we have, I learned the state heads of BPCL and HPCL sitting here. They also have a very, humongous role of convincing their dealers. Now the leadership is convinced, the directions are clear, but convincing their dealers to, move these LPGs out of the PNG compliant areas, so that the proliferation of PNG can take place. This is the agenda of the highest offices in the country. And the second and another most important one is the control order for natural gas and petroleum product distribution order, wherein the timelines and the rates have been defined by the central government for all PNG related PNG network related activities. So these two are the enablers, major enablers, and we as ambassadors, the CGD entities as ambassadors of central government, you need to promulgate them at the lowest level, because generally it takes time for these orders to get promulgated at the district level, and till the time district collector is not on board, it will be very difficult to implement these orders. So coming on to the transition pathways, there are four important pillars, or there are four important stakeholders of the entire gamut of PNG. On top is the consumer, and what he is asking for is a reliable supply. He is asking for transparent billing, responsive service support, and fuel economy. We will have to understand that we all started with probably wood, charcoal. From there we moved to coal, we moved to kerosene. Thereafter, kerosene, which was a very big invention, we moved to kerosene. From kerosene, we moved to LPG, and now we are moving towards PNG. So there is no permanency. We have been evolving, we have been shifting, we have been moving. Now is the time to move from LPG to PNG. Now, as far as LPG is concerned, for a child of my age group of 80s, not a child definitely. For the generation of 80s, 70s, even 90s, we had seen LPG as a prize commodity in our household. In 70s it was for the affluent, in 80s it was for upper middle class, in 90s it was for middle class, and when we moved to 21st century, its adoption increased manifold. And then Ujjwala, lastly Ujjwala was icing on the cake, where it has probably moved in most of the household of the country, because I'm sure with 33 crore numbers, approximately 80% of country have been covered. Now, initially there were difficulties. With lot of hard work of the government and the OMCs, the convenience had reached a different level. We will have to match the convenience which the LPG or the OMCs were giving it to its consumers. With a missed call now, or 2 months back, 3 months back, with a missed call you were getting your LPG connection, just with a missed call. So probably we'll have to match that consumer satisfaction level to convince our consumers that yes, this is the fuel for future. So that we'll have to be very cautious and careful about, so that its image doesn't get tarnished. Second is the CGD entities who are making their effort, and they are looking for timely approval, favorable policy environment, and there is a capex requirement from their end. State level authorities, they are now willing to extend full support, but what they are looking at is a planned execution and minimal public inconvenience. And last is the central authorities. We only demand from the CGD entities that they must make in their maximum effort to convert maximum number of household on PNG. We are aware about the fact that CNG is a very important component for this business. Therefore, equal enablers for CNG is also being offered at various point in time. Segment-wise transition, I think I have covered previously, so without repeating, at the cost of repetition, I'd only like to cover one aspect, that is new urban development. I am not aware that how many district or state officials are sitting here, but their role is very important for adoption of this product, especially in the new urban agglomeration. Wherever the town is expanding, the city is expanding, PNG should be part of the overall plan. And last is the challenges, high upfront cost perception of the consumers. For that, most of the CGD entities have come up with a lot of lucrative schemes. We are aware. Material availability, yes. Right now there is an issue because the demand has surged, but I am sure the country is capable enough that the shock will be taken up, and lot of new producers will come into play. It may take some time, but it is still something which the entities will have to take care of. Customer activation, service quality and grievances, Then last mile connectivity, which we have to ensure, because a lot of places the connections are ready, but conversion has not taken place. For that, regular and repetitive follow-ups are required by the CGD entities. Skilled workforce, I understand that the CGD entities cannot be in the business of producing the workforce or training the workforce. That should not be their primary role. And here comes the role of the government, and here comes our role also to educate various agencies that this particular part should be incorporated in the various ITIs and various training institutes. Permission and ROWs are mostly sorted. We need to send messages at the lowest level. So that's it as far as the transition story is concerned, but there is a long way to go. There are a lot of enablers from everywhere, from the government side, and I don't think that there can be a better opportunity for this industry and for this segment to flourish than in the present time. With this, I come to end of my presentation. If anyone has any question, I'll be free to answer. If anyone has any doubts in the presentation which I have given. If no doubt, no questions, then thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Kumar Abhishek. I think so, very interesting points you made, right? One, the fragility this country has in terms of the basic cooking facilities, right? With a lot of dependence on LPG. But same time, there is a opportunity to migrate 33 crore households in a phased manner. But same time, you also pointed out the current convenience which the customer has in terms of getting the cylinder at a missed call level, and challenges in terms of doing the large infrastructure. So thank you for highlighting all these points. So now we will move to some success stories, right? Because despite all of this, we have seen a lot of huge amount of adoption of PNG in Gujarat, and each city has its own unique story that how they have achieved it. So maybe I invite Mr. Vinay Kumar Srivastav, who's MD of Vadodara Gas, to share with us how the transition happened at Vadodara and share some success stories. Vinay?
Very good afternoon to everyone. I hope everyone is awakened by the thoughts shared by Colonel Abhishek. First of all, welcome to Vadodara City, सांस्कृतिक नगरी. और आप सभी जो हैं वो यहाँ पे आपका सबका स्वागत है. और आपने मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि यहाँ पे बैठी हुई जितनी भी जनता है उसमें से काफ़ी लोग ऐसा है जो बड़ौदा से जुड़े हुए हैं, या तो बड़ौदा से हैं या अहमदाबाद से भी आए हैं तो बड़ौदा से जुड़े हुए हैं. सो आप सबका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है इस पैनल डिस्कशन में और स्पीकर्स में. यहाँ पे जो आज का जो टॉपिक दिया गया था वो ट्रांजिशन था LPG to PNG. Now, whatever topic has been assigned by Pawanji to us is regarding the roadmap towards the PNG journey, and probably I am going to give the perspective of a entity side, CGD entity side, like rightly mentioned by Colonel Abhishek. 4 stakeholders are there: CGD entity is there, government regulatory body is there, other stakeholders are there. So I am going to give you the perspective of CGD entity. Now, the first thing is that I'm really happy to share with you that Vadodara, where we are sitting, is having the highest penetration in the country with respect to PNG, and that is more than 49%. 49.7%, which exceeds the entire Gujarat average of 40% and Maharashtra average of 15%, Delhi average of 30%. So be happy that we are already having a success story, but a lot of things still are required to be done. So with a special mention to PNGRB team, sir, we are committed to make the Vadodara an LPG-free city, what you have identified as the PNG city, and I think we are very well ahead on this schedule. We are approximately having 6.15 lakh households in the Vadodara city, and out of that, we are already covering more than 3 lakhs. It's almost 3 lakhs, 6,000 households where we have already provided PNG. So with this commitment from Vadodara Gas also, which is a supplier, authorized supplier in the Vadodara city, just wanted to share one quote from the Henry Ford, that is, coming together is a beginning, staying together is a progress, and working together is success. So we just want to tell everyone that it's going to be a success story, as mentioned by Pavanji. Typically coming, I'll be just covering something about Vadodara Gas, how it emerged, what is the something which is making it a unique and a different success story. One thing is it's a unique kind of joint venture. Unique kind of joint venture means it's a partnership between Central Maharatna unit GAIL, which has been an expert in the gas industry, and the local body of Vadodara Municipal Corporation. And that partnership is also not of elder brother or the younger brother, it's of the equal partnership. So the best thing is that we have made the local governance an equal partner for the development of city gas distribution in the city. And this model is little bit different. While we are trying to sell a commercial product, when we talk about a CGD segment, I think all the panel speakers will agree to that. We have always been focusing on selling a commercial product, and that commercial product is natural gas, be it PNG, be it CNG, be it LNG, be it industrial commercial, whatever we name it. But the point is that we have never tried to sell this as a public utility product. And what is this? This is a public utility. We since long have been asking to the government that please declare CGD as a public utility. But have we ever made efforts like that in which the municipal corporation used to give water, municipal corporation used to give the sewage facilities? Have we ever tried to give the PNG? Yes. Vadodara Municipal Corporation, I'm really thankful to the entire team of the VMC that they tried way back in 1972. That's why we say that India's first PNG connection came in 1972. जब बड़ौदा में के आसपास में ONGC की फील्ड से गैस को गैस होल्डर में रखना और वहाँ से बिल्कुल क्रूड वे में, इवन इट वाज द रशियन टेक्नोलॉजी ऑफ द गैस होल्डर, बट बिल्कुल क्रूड टेक्नोलॉजी में उसको प्रेशर पे माउंट करना और माउंट करने के बाद घरों में गैस देना. आई हैव मेट पीपल हु हैव बीन यूजिंग दिस PNG सिंस 1972. आज हम इतने सालों बाद भी खड़े हैं और स्टिल वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द सेम. बट जस्ट इमेजिन दी फोर-साइटेडनेस ऑफ दैट बड़ोदरा म्यूनिसिपल सेवा सदन, जो उस समय नाम दिया गया था, उनका थॉट प्रोसेस और उनका विजन कितना ज़्यादा फ्यूचर एडवांस था. सो वहाँ से हमने पब्लिक यूटिलिटी की तरह में गैस को देना शुरू किया घरों में. एंड देन दिस जर्नी स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम दिस डोमेस्टिक एंड इन द कमर्शियल. Yes, we could not give a focus on CNG and the industrial, which was always a profitable segment for any CGD. But then GAIL came into the picture and then they formed the JV way back in 2013. So the partnership started in September 2013 and then the authorization was granted in somewhere in 2016. And this journey then went into all 4 segments of CGD. So then there was a balance which was stuck. That public utility product, PNG, public utility product, CNG was merged with the commercial product of industrial PNG and the commercial PNG. So that's the way things have started. But it was a collaborative approach. The first of all, we have to understand that this cannot be run as a just merely an corporate entity performing and trying to sell their commercial products in the market. It can never run. We need to have a participation or at least support from the state government, central government, local bodies. Then only we can make it a success. Just brief about Vadodara. We are authorized for Vadodara district as well as the Chota Udaipur district, but our entire operations, largely the pipeline network which was laid, it's almost more than 4,700 kilometers MDP pipeline network, and we have close to 80 kilometer steel pipeline network. We are having a customer connection base of more than 3 lakhs. It's almost 3.07 lakhs. Households are happy to use our PNG. And just being MD of the company, it has been almost more than 8 months. And honestly speaking, like I'm just after talking about after the lunch, still I am really proud to say one thing, that I have never faced any complaint from any PNG user in Vadodara city regarding this service quality. So that shows the volume and that speaks about the quality. So that is something which we, while I was in Bangalore or some other places, a lot of complaints used to come. But in Vadodara, I think people are so used to of this product and they're so comfortable about domestic PNG that they are willing to come forward and start utilizing this. So on volume front, this is a typical mixture. I think the graph is a little bit skewed, but the mixture is a little bit different. On CNG side, it's almost 55% market share, which is there among the total gas being used. But on the domestic side, it is almost 33%. And industrial and commercial put together, it is less than 10%. That is something which is going to change in next 1 or 2 years. You can see the infrastructure position, like 72,000 connections were done prior to the formation of VGL. And right now we are sitting at 3 lakh connections, household connections. So that's a huge jump which we have made as a company. On CNG station side also, we have touched almost 60, and this year we will be having more than 90 stations after this financial year. On commercial connection, this is something very interesting, that wherever you go in Vadodara city, you will find that all the hotels, all the restaurants, everyone is connected by VGL. Almost everyone. So that used to be my favorite topic whenever I used to visit on the road and ask my team member whether this hotel is connected or not. And none of the time I've got a response that no, sorry, we are yet to connect this. So this is something we need to proud of. I'm really proud of this thing. On industry side, yes, position was very bad, and slowly we are trying to reach to all the industrial areas. One of my friend from Farmson is smiling at me because last January we commissioned the CGS there, and we entered into Nandeshwari industrial area and started supplying gas to them. So slowly we are reaching out to all industrial areas, and I can assure you that in next 1 or 2 years we'll be ready everywhere. So I mean, we are reaching to Padra, we are reaching to Karjan, we are reaching to Dabhoi, we are reaching to Chota Udaipur, which is the farthest location from our site. Sales growth is something which is commercial. I think it's good for the company to understand. But yes, we are witnessing a huge growth on year basis. Since last year, I think it has been almost 26% rise in the revenue side, almost 22% rise in the PAT side, and 23% rise in the PBT side. So yes, we are doing better commercially also, and much of the profit will be going towards DPNG segment, for which government has given a mammoth target to us. This year we achieved the highest ever revenue and sales. Now the roadmap for this PNG journey. PNGRB has a recent, I think because of this West Asia crisis, lot of issues came up and lot of pressure came up for increasing the number of counts in the domestic segment. But as everyone knows, आपदा में भी अवसर होता है, तो हमने भी उसको कोशिश की कि इस आपदा को अवसर में बदला जाए, और हमने भी स्टेप अप किया. स्टेप अप almost 5 folds to 6 folds था. Earlier we were doing almost 50 connections per day, but after this crisis we are touching almost 300 now. And but we are still behind what PNGRB and ministry wants from us. They want 750 connections per day, almost 736 connections per day, and I'm sure we'll be reaching up to at least 500. So that way we will be completing our MWP program also, which is hardly 1.5 lakhs away from us. So we are making a planning of almost 2.2 lakhs for this year. Maybe slightly some delay may happen, but yes, we'll be reaching that. Now the issue is that when we say that how VGL model or Vadodara model is a benchmark for CGD's India's ecosystem, then as I mentioned earlier, why this happened and why this turned out to be success, especially in PNG segment, domestic PNG. Because of the first fact that it was a strategic joint venture. It was a joint venture between two experienced parties. One experienced party is GAIL, having a expertise in gas sector, was in position, still in position to bring the maximum percentage of the gas to the country from all points of the globe. The second thing is the
Vinay,
VMC pile. Yeah.
I'd like you to hurry up.
Yeah, sure. So, second part was the VMC side. VMC had a benefit, like having VMC on board was always a benefit because we always have a partner which is facilitating us in planning, in giving permissions. So, infrastructure laying part was something very, very easy for us, still very easier for us. And then the public utility integration was there. So, we had this public utility approach rather than the commercial product approach. With current 49.7% penetration, we are first of all trying to 85% penetration. That way, we will be reaching almost to our MWP program. And our effort is more on the reaching to the customers. And first of all, we have identified, whosoever is living in Barodara, let me tell you from this forum also that we have identified 470 societies where penetration is more than 50%, and we are trying to first of all make them all LPG free societies. So far we have done it for more than 20. Now the next thing is we are going to convert that. So targeted approach is there. We are getting all the support from VMC. We have divided the entire work into the zone-wise mapping. So all the contractors are being deployed in zone and ward-wise, and that is where we are also taking assistance from the VMC. VMC is also giving a lot of support. Material planning, yes, there was an issue, but we have made up the planning. And the one thing which, sir, I would like to tell it from this forum to the PNGRB, yes, there's a problem in the material side, there's a problem in the contractor side, but the vendor development part, which should have been done, we are taking care of that, and we are trying to bring more vendors in the material side also. Sir, one small thing which I would like to mention for Pawan also, you please see that 1% of your entire LPG consumption in the country, 90,000 TMT is there, the daily, and 1% of that share is actually running in the entire southern India as an auto LPG. 1%, merely 1%. That 1%, if taken out from the system, that is able to give you more than 30 lakhs connection in the country. So we need to see what is our priority. Whether our priority is auto LPG in that segment, which has already been replaced by CNG in all other parts of the country. So that way we can also think how LPG can be shifted and PNG can be put in. Rest all, I think we have covered. Affordability is not a problem, at least in Vadodara. We are very well positioned in terms of pricing also. And the only thing is that we are working very hard on the faster execution side. We will reach to all the areas wherever you are living. Just give us 1 or 2 years time. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Vinay. I think so it was very interesting to understand that how a municipal joint venture can be a great success story, and how we have utilized that in terms of better planning and delivering the results which were shared in the presentation. Thank you so much. Maybe next I invite Mr. Suresh P. Manglani, who's Executive Director at ATGL, for sharing the Ahmedabad experience, right? How they made the shift from LPG to LNG. Thank you.
Thank you, Pawanji. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, organizers, for giving this forum to, sorry. Thank you. For giving this forum to Adani Total Gas. I also must compliment the government of Gujarat for this continued focus on a transformative initiative like Vibrant Gujarat, which not only has helped in the past but is going to help in the future to take the vision of Honorable Prime Minister Viksit Bharat to a reality in 2047. The kind of a success of Vibrant Gujarat we are seeing year on year, it is growing with 45 lakh crore, with 1 lakh project coming up, and now the regional growth again focus coming in the Vibrant Gujarat. This is a very transparent initiative, and we are seeing every state government is adopting now on the lines of the Vibrant Gujarat. I will certainly invite my colleagues Pankaj and Karishma to give you the presentation on the success story of the Ahmedabad. But just 2 minutes I will touch upon the larger issues which I think Kumar Abhishek ji has given the presentation. After that, hardly there is anything for speakers to speak on the policy front. But 2-3 things I would say that, as he said, CGD is a very old story in the country, but today still we have 1.6 or 1.7 lakh crore or 16 million homes on a PNG versus 33 crore LPG homes with 12 or 13 crore odd Ujjwala home with LPG connections. So long way to go. How do we go about it? CGD, of course, is in a collaborative initiative, and we are seeing the collaboration at a full play today. As Kumar Abhishek said, that the central government has brought out the initiative which we have been dreaming for last 30 years, actually, that very aggressively now they are pushing for transition of LPG to PNG, including convincing oil marketing companies to first let them digest that PNG is now the way to go for a home, and then convincing their distributors and dealers. This is a big success in fact, transiting LPG to PNG in the country. And if we go through that path, very collaboratively, in a phased manner, transiting LPG to PNG, I think that's going to be the way we will start bridging this 1.6 crore to 33 crore gap. But there are a couple of steps which could be further taken on policy fronts. One, I would say level playing field, which is very critical, that we have 12 to 13 crore Ujjwala LPG which are taking away a lot of space of PNG. How do we give the similar space to PNG through some sort of incentivization, whether it is Prijwala or some other ways, but there has to be some sort of a level playing, which should help transiting PNG towards and sunsetting the LPG, as the vision of the government now seems to be very clearly laid out. Second, we are in a Gujarat. CGD is like a Gujarati thali. It is not only home PNG. It comprises of home PNG. It also comprises of industrial PNG, commercial PNG, and then CNG. And then you have, how do we enhance the application of a natural gas? So how do we do that? So I think then again there is another suggestion which I have been making for a very long time, including the sunset of LPG, we are seeing it now, is how do we bring level playing on moving away transactional policies to the universalization of policies. What I meant was categorize the fuels in a manner that the fiscal incentives and benefits are level played. Green fuels, for example, the green hydrogen, CBG, EV on renewable energy are the greener fuels. Give all the fiscal incentive, whether the taxation or an incentive, on the similar footing to greener fuel. Then you have cleaner fuel, which is CNG, PNG, LPG, EV on a fossil fuel. Again, bring it to them level playing, give them similar taxation, similar fiscal benefits, whether it is a demand based, supply based, and then you have a rest of the fuel, which is petrol, diesel, LSHS, FO. Now this, if you are able to do green fuel, cleaner fuel, and the rest of the fuel, and then all ministries works accordingly, that it is not renewable ministry will give some incentive to EV, even if on the fossil fuel. And then CNG customers will be looking at, should I buy CNG vehicle or should I buy EV vehicle? Should I go for a PNG home or should I go for a EV induction, the induction cooking there? So if you bring some sort of a level playing field at the larger scale of the policy, whether the central government or state government, I think it will bring major game-changing transition of LPG to the PNG. That's another important part. There are some more suggestions which I have. One is how do we enhance the, of course, PNG on the industrial side? And same way I would say PNG on the domestic side. Government is, when government will is works there, they gave PLI for production linked incentive for enhancing the manufacturing in India. We are saying bring CLI, consumption linked incentive for enhancing consumption of a natural gas for industrial consumer, particularly MSME, and also for home consumers. If they consume PNG, there is a consumption linked incentive. If we, till the beginning we bring Pirjola for, let's say, LIG kind of a consumers, but we bring consumption linked incentive for home PNG consumers, that if whatever PNG they are consuming. So this will be another reason home consumers will be transiting. One is we push them that you, if you take PNG or PNG is passing through your home, you have to mandatorily take PNG. Another is incentivizing and making them people voluntarily choosing the PNG. How do we make PNG as neighbors, owners' pride and neighbors' envy? That's the way we need to see. Today we are still pushing, after 40 years of PNG being there, we are still pushing PNG to be adopted. It has not become an urge of a housewife that I definitely need a PNG. When Vinay was saying he has a 49%, or we say 35, 30 or 40% in Ahmedabad, still 60% are yet to take it. Why? And when we meet policy makers like PNGRB or MOPNG, they will always question who doesn't want to take PNG. The question is, how do we develop the urge in everybody's mind that once PNG becomes like a pride of a home. अगर बाजू वाले के घर में अपने LPG देखा और so first the person who owns the PNG should say, अरे अभी तक LPG? जैसे ही बोलेंगे अभी भी LPG, तो उसको लगेगा जो PNG ले रहा है उसका काफ़ी pride है. How do we bring this owner's pride, neighbor's envy for a PNG is going to be most critical. That is what few suggestions I would give. Due to that constraint of a time, I would request Pankaj and Karishma to give you the complete case study of the Ahmedabad success story. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Journey starts from the Ahmedabad is from 2005 to 2026. Ahmedabad is divided into two parts, that is the Eastern Ahmedabad and the Western Ahmedabad, and baseline is the Sabarmati River. Okay. If we see the asset of the Ahmedabad, we have a DPNG connections approximately 5.7 lakhs. Commercial establishments we have a 4,000, and approximately volume is the 57,000 SCMD. We have an industry segment. We have 850 industries in Ahmedabad. Approximately volume is 2.5 lakhs, and 88 CNG stations, inclusive of the Koro CNG station, Dodo and co-location. We started the connection in Ahmedabad 2005, and over the period, we did the more than 30,000 domestic connections every year. But we faced the challenges. Can we just hit on important notes? Okay, sorry. Too much of data. Okay, sir. This is very important in Ahmedabad. If you see the AMC water line, approximately 7,500 kilometers, and drainage line is 4,000 kilometers. ATGL has laid the 6,400 kilometers pipeline in the Ahmedabad city. It means that हम लोग 80 to 85% of the Ahmedabad city में पहुंच गए. But what is the problem? The problem is that कि आज कोई भी city gas distribution plan कर रहा है to cater the 100% of the DPNG volume and CPNG volume. But we did not achieve amount of penetration 40 to 45% because approximately 55 domestic connections are LIG, MIG, they are using the LPG. We have 1.2 lakhs of the DPNG connection जहाँ पे हमारा entire pipeline पहुँच गया है, just उनको start करना है, but they are not using our PNG because their patients are the LPG. तो neither PNG company, city gas distribution company अपना 100% stake नहीं लिए, और not OMC जो LPG dealer है वो भी अपना stake नहीं ले रहा है. तो कहीं ना कहीं city gas distribution company ने invested is a very huge capex for the pipeline laying and infrastructure building, but हम लोग उसका benefit नहीं ले. तो that's the एक मेरा रिक्वेस्ट है कि कैन वी डू कि अर्बन या मिडल क्लास जो पोटेंशियल है we can provide the PNG connection easily, but in the village area, rural segment, we can go for the LPG, that's all.
So I think, first of all, very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A lot has been said. I'll quickly take you through what is important, what we as an ATGL, our experience of 24 years wants to say today. So from our experience, we have learned that customer needs three things. Most importantly, there are three things which customer needs, without which we are not going to get any success in particularly domestic PNG segment. Number one is the infrastructure. Like Colonel Abhishek also mentioned, if you say this to the customer that we are going to give you the connection next year, you register with us, he is not going to. Second is the price, of course. Ahmedabad, of course, Gujarat is a price sensitive market that we have always seen that. People tend to quickly compare with the LPG, and if there is slightest of the, there is no premium, people are not going to switch. Of course, convenience is for the upper middle class or the middle class, but for this segment, people more tend to look on the savings rather than on the convenience. The third and the most important thing is the customer service. So, like sir mentioned, that there are no complaints in Baroda. So, I think that is a big achievement. And if that is the thing, the word of mouth plays a very, very big role. We do not need any awareness campaigns. Once people like the product, they liked your service, they are going to anyway promote it on your behalf. So, I think these are the three pillars which play a key role. Next is what worked for us in Ahmedabad. In the initial years of Ahmedabad, like from last 5 years also what we are seeing is we have developed our PE network extensively. Regardless of the fact that how much potential we are getting, it's not always for the numbers. Potential, this is like a classic chicken and egg story, that if there is an infrastructure, the customers are going to come. And customers come only when there is the infrastructure. So that has worked for us. Next is we have very appealing offers. We don't charge any EMIs, interest to the customers or something like that. We have given them every opportunity to onboard. Then we have dedicated customer centers till today in Ahmedabad. Mostly we have also a benefit of like the population is urban, so that is also one benefit. And again, the ready to use, the plug and play concept that we have in builder category particularly. So what that happens is if it is present in your house, we are not compelling you, but it happens to be that the customer gets attracted towards it. So that has also worked for us. And the last and the most important one is the emergency teams. We have this 10 emergency officers in Ahmedabad who are, equipped to handle any kind of emergency. We normally don't have any kind of shutdown in this particular segment. So this is the breakup of Ahmedabad GA. I'll quickly take you, we have 18...
Can we wrap up, please?
Yeah, sure. So just a few initiatives I'll take, and this is the last one. This is the growth of ATGL at whole. You can see that in 2022, we were having 5,73,000 connections, and today we stand beyond 10.5. So it's like a double, we have doubled our numbers in last 4 years. So these are some initiatives which we are currently doing. I think this is the last one that I would like to reiterate. We have, this thing, we have written it to the municipal commissioner also for Ahmedabad specifically to mandate PNG for all the newly constructed buildings. So I think if this happens, this is going to change the game. One is that. And we are, approaching all the taxpayers. The municipal government has supported us and they have given us the numbers of the property taxpayers. So this is the another initiative. Third and the most important is we have collaborated with the OMCs. We are meeting with them every week from now onwards. And wherever we are giving the notices, OMC is also giving the notice. So I think that will serve the purpose largely. And we will be able to reduce the imports of LPG. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, ATG.
With immense pleasure, we welcome Honorable Principal Secretary Sri Ashwini Kumar sir, who is with us. So let us applaud him. I request Sandeep sir to offer a welcome. Sir has been instrumental and sir has been the most inspiring for us to conduct all these seminars, sir. Sir, thank you for your presence, sir. Pawanji.
Welcome, sir. So next speaker is Mr. Yogiraj Navate, who is Executive Director at Gujarat Energy Limited. He would share how the leading contributor to Gujarat's LNG infrastructure and energy and their journey from LPG to PNG.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone sitting on the dais. I mean, from Vadodara to be presenting on a topic such as GL is a GL positioning itself as a leading contributor, and how Gujarat's journey happened from LPG dependence to PNG overbearance. So, I mean, that's very interesting part, and GL and all other CGDs of Gujarat have contributed immensely for this. This is just a geographical footprint of Gujarat Energy Limited. We are in 27 geographical areas, 44 districts, 6 states and 1 union territory. It's quite huge geographical spread. And we are there as a group from a port to people, that is LNG terminals to burner tip. So entire integrated setup we have. This is a customer base, a GL customer base, and the infrastructure that we have created. 43,000 kilometers of pipeline, 846 CNG stations, around 24 lakh customers, and so on. Industry and commercial also is very high side. Now why we say we are different? I mean, we are different because we do also consider social responsibility. We do also connect villages, and in present crisis, when it came to connecting commercial customers, we have prioritized certain segments such as hospitals, crematoriums, mess, canteens. So 31% of these commercial PNG customers are of essential categories. We are committed to expansion and growth. Normally, we do 1,000 crores of capex every year. PNG Drive 2, I mean, we have immediately understood its immense when PNG Drive 2 was launched, we understood its importance, and not only GL, but government of Gujarat as such immediately mobilized, and we put into all our efforts with result-oriented aggression. Commercial registrations during this period have picked up. Positive intervention during Morbi propane issue. So we are now supplying mostly 9+ MMSCMD of gas in Morbi, into industries in Gujarat. Then LPG-free societies now picking up. As on May, 3,426 numbers of household societies covering around 5 lakh households have been covered. This is our Prorata achievement. As such, 66% performance as regards DPNG is concerned on the committed program to PNGRB. On pipeline also, we almost 76% performance. As far as CapEx committed, we have not stopping short to reach the customer. Though at DFR level, 9,700 crore of CapEx was committed, we have so far infused 12,000 crore of CapEx. This is just to give an overview of almost 10 entities which are mentioned here. They cover 80 out of 307 GS, that is almost 26%. And 1.69 crore is the MWP covered by them, which is all 30% of the target. You can see Gujarat Energy Limited is the highest with 54 lakh 40,000 customers to be connected. And we have accepted this challenge, though, and we are putting up all the efforts. Another way of looking at it is that though 13% of total DPNG target is covered in this, of this 13%, Gujarat Energy is almost 41%. So we share a very big burden, very big weightage of the domestic connections that are required to be delivered. As far as leading CGD companies are concerned, yes, we are among first three on various indicators. Gas distribution volume 21%, we are largest. Industrial connection 22%, second largest. CNG station second largest. Domestic connections, if we take build connections, then we are second. Commercial connections, we are largest with 36% numbers. Gujarat is leading the nation, and GEL is leading the Gujarat. On various aspects, domestic PNG connection front, you can see almost 57%. 23% is the share in all India. We are second only to Maharashtra. Then GEL is 57% of the Gujarat domestic connections. So almost you can see very high share commercial connections, industrial connections, either second or third as far as Gujarat is concerned, and of Gujarat, almost 60% plus share is of GEL. Similarly, pipelines, DPNG sales, IPNG sale, on all indicators, we are giving a lead. Now coming to state government and GEL management, when this entire drive was started, we immediately mobilized for the maximum contribution at Gujarat level. So there were 14 authorized, there are 10 authorized entities and 34 DS in Gujarat. Government of Gujarat, SES Civil Supplies, PS EPD sir and MD GSPC, they immediately mobilized. They immediately harped upon all CGD entities to understand their issues and then give solutions and then encourage them to produce a maximum result. Yeah. Yeah. So these are various coordination meetings. You can see during short period of time, so many meetings were taken with CGD entities and with a lot of positive outcomes as summarized here. These are various social responsibility and priority commercial connections given as part of social responsibility. So that mandate was clear, that at policy level that decision was there, that we should give them priority and connect them on priority. DPNG drive to at Gujarat level, you can see the numbers, all CGD's entities putting up incremental numbers. from 19,000 to 60,000 in May, and so far 41,000 in June. Similarly, commercial connections also. We have connected about 1,500 commercial connections, all CGDs put together. We as a GL are committed. I mean, these are difficult GS for GL, but you can see, I mean, though there is very high rural component, if urban-rural mix of the GA is taken, almost 60-70% is rural component. With 500, 600 villages to be connected, we are still putting up all our efforts, despite very high capex required. And one more challenge coming up, Manglani Saab ne bataya tha, PMUY. In this area, if you can see, PMUY connections in each of the GA are very high. So so it's very difficult to bridge the gap. And on the rural side, this percentage are higher. So for reaching rural areas, this is again a more challenge. But yes, as I said, we are committed and we will try to reach as many customers as possible. GL, again, at all India level, PNG drive that is being taken. If we see from January 1st to January 25th, June, sorry, we have contributed almost 7% to the connections that were made. As far as our target is concerned, we are about 40 to 60% of our targets that were given to us. And down below, you can see March, April, and May to June. So there is an incremental increase from 5.64% to say 12.5%. So we are improving as period goes, and I'm sure we will catch up to meet the revised target that PNGRB has set up.
So can we wrap up?
Yeah, last one. Now, coming to how Gujarat has already gone beyond LPG dependence. If you see here, there are 12,85,000 active LPG customers, and DPNG connections are 38,75,000, which are basically 34% of the LPG active customers. If we take out this PMUI, because we can nowhere compete PMUI connections, if we take out PMUI connections from active domestic, then we have almost reached 46% of active LPG as far as DPNG penetration is concerned. So, I mean, this is a very big achievement as far as state is concerned. And here onwards, the journey will be difficult because the PMUI and rural area and all these areas will have to be approached. So, difficult things to come. But yes, I mean, we have gone beyond LPG dependence. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nawate. Let me invite Mr. Basit Dholakia from IOAGPL. He would be talking on overcoming challenges in the current PNG drive. Welcome, sir.
Respected MD ma'am, my colleagues on the dais, I think a lot of things have already been said about the LPG crisis, the Hormuz crisis. I'll skip all that and come to the point which I am trying to make. I think in the entire transition space, we are probably missing out some good points. So just to put some context to that, is about the LPG story. I think let us first hear about the LPG story, some highlights. This is about IOGPL, the company which I represent. But before we talk about the PNG transition, I think LPG story has been one of the fantastic story the world will ever see again. And this is because we have about 33 crores plus LPG customers, 10.3 crores customers registered under a scheme where nothing was charged to them. Even stoves were given to them. And these are the houses which could not afford probably some basic amenities, and they were given this modern fuel. There are 25,000 plus LPG dealers, 200 plus bottling plants, 8,000 plus kilometers of LPG pipelines, and this is the largest LPG retail network in the world. And probably not seen, maybe we are not the largest consumer of LPG, but this is the largest retail network. While China could be the largest consumer and US could be the largest producer, but we are the largest, I think, retail consumption infrastructure country in the entire world. And this is, if you see that this has all been done in last 7 decades with a special purpose of providing a universal access to clean energy to the entire nation. And this has been probably the largest, biggest social revolution which has happened in the entire world in the last 6 decades. We are probably entering into a second revolution of putting this entire LPG consumption base, at least the part of it, into a PNG program. So I think this is a second revolution which we are trying to attempt. And I'm sure with the success of the first one, the second one definitely is going to be a success. The first had a social objective. The second, as has been said by the previous speakers, mainly driven by the crisis, what we saw, the price situations, the logistic situations. I think it has a more economic kind of principles behind. The first one had the social principles. Why PNG? Obviously, it enjoys the power of 3 A's. Number one, the availability. Today, the domestic production is about 30x what we consume in the domestic segment. About 95% plus states are covered with transmission pipelines or would get covered, and hence every state will have the access to this natural gas. Our entire state country practically has been authorized by PNGRB for development of CGD business, CGD networks. So that will also in next few years probably the reach will become much closer for every household. And lastly, the affordability. Traditionally, natural gas, and that too the domestically produced natural gas, has been cheaper than the LPG. So obviously government is tempted under this situation that because of this power of 3 A's, I think Government of India has rightly chosen PNG as the fuel for the going forward. And this PNG is also a long-term savior. Why? Because of simple reason: it is reliable, supplied through pipelines. It has a robust infrastructure, and most part of the country is getting covered or would get covered. CGD has its own good history of about more than 3 decades now of being safe and very reliable. Also, this creates a future pipeline for blending biogas as well as green hydrogen, and hence it is almost a futuristic kind of infrastructure. So therefore, PNG makes a lot of sense today for Government of India and for the entire country to adopt. That's why there is a national agenda which has been put forward, as has been said earlier in the opening and first presentation by Lieutenant Colonel, that Honorable PM, he has himself desired that the entire country should have this PNG connections. This entire massive PNG drive is part of the various rounds under which the country was given out. The targets were laid out, but now they become almost like real in the sense. this entire thing is going to attract an investment of more than 3 lakh crores. And that's where the entire challenge starts. And we are going to create one of the world's largest last mile connectivity infrastructure in the entire world, I think. That's what it requires is the scale at which we have never looked at. The number of the PNG connections has to be done at the rate, as was said, 1 lakh per day is the desire, Honorable PM's desire. We are today at 8,000, 9,000. Sometimes we touch 10,000, but I think it has to be done 10x. It has to be done at a speed because we can't take the 7 decades, the story of LPG for 7 decades, we can't take the same time frame. We do not have that. Maybe a maximum of 8-10 years. We have to be more, it has to be more responsive to the requirements of the customers, as has been said earlier also, that customers' expectations are changing, and that's where probably the PNG business is lacking, so they have to match up to that. And also it requires a capital, large, long-term, and deployment at a velocity. I think this is the kind of requirement which is, and that creates some of the challenges. Obviously, this kind of work will create challenges. We all know some of the challenges about that some part of the countries were not connected. They have got connected now, so it will take a little more time for them to develop the PNG infrastructure. The permissions were the bottlenecks, but government has taken some extraordinary steps, never heard before, never seen before kind of. So those are getting resolved. There is a serious issue related to the manpower. This was also mentioned earlier. But I think one of the reasons why manpower has been lacking is because the way the business developed. It had a very tepid kind of pace, sort of slow-paced kind of thing. And therefore, the manpower also came in at that pace. Probably the kind of pace what we are looking at, it will automatically drive. We need to only give a long-term kind of vision story to this. The domestic connections, if you see in isolation, remains a financial puzzle in the sense that unless and until a cross-stream kind of story does not, cross-stream revenues does not come in, I think this becomes a slight an issue. So therefore, it has to be seen as a total CGD story. The urban centers, yes, they do well, but where the horizontal expansion is there and the rural areas, they create some kind of issues. Also, what is seen is there has been a 7-decade-old loyalty which LPG has today. Now, to drive away from this loyalty, 100 rupees is too less, I would say. 100 rupees a month of saving is too less to drive a loyalty of 7 decades. I think that story does not sell. So now I think the entire value proposition today is either convenience and the energy security. I think these two are the only value proposition today, and I think they are very serious ones also. So they can definitely be sold and should be sold. And I think the last is the biggest thing, is the last 25 meter, a human problem. No engineering solution exists for this last 25 meters, I would say. This is not engineering. This is pure human behavior, human science, where every kind of politics will come, every kind of relationship will work, and what works we don't know. We have to try. Every house is a different story. So this will remain I think that's where the entire story is. People who tackle this, people who are on the ground, who understand this last mile, I think they will do always well. Those companies will do well. Older companies definitely have powers to do this. They have understanding and they do very well. Newer companies have to probably learn more about it. How do we tackle these challenges? I think I have some small story about this 5 Ps. One is policy, as has been said, long-term, stable policy regime, partnership, all authorities, be it center, state, local, and any other statutory bodies, I think they all have to partner, including OMCs, the CGD companies, everyone, all stakeholders. I think the most important is the patient capital. This requires a lot of patience, long-term, back-ended revenues, and one has to really have a lot of patience towards that. It is dealing with people, skilled manpower has to come in, and I think that capacity building has to be done. And also lastly, public participation. I think that's more important. This entire program, as I said, that this is not a PNG program. This is a revolution, a second energy transition revolution. This has never, the scale at which what we are, the numbers what we are looking at has never happened in the world in the recent times. Therefore, it requires a collaboration of different nature. It requires collaboration of all stakeholders, and that only can make this program a success. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dholakia. I think so. It was great for us to again remind ourselves on the LPG story, which was nothing short of a magic in this country. And on those notes, right, I'll like to invite Mr. Sanjeev Behra if he can share his perspective for 5 minutes. He's Executive Director at Indian Oil.
Thank you. Madam Avantika Singh, MD Gujarat Energy Limited, esteemed panelists on the dais, my colleagues from oil industry, and ladies and gentlemen, very good afternoon to all of you. At the outset, I'd like to thank you for giving this opportunity because I was not in the panel to speak on this. So also I'd like to compliment Government of Gujarat for deciding this topic about, this is about natural gas adoption, strengthening India's energy security beyond LPG dependence. As oil marketing companies, we play a significant role in ensuring LPG supplies to 34 crores domestic suppliers, domestic consumers across the country. Every day, a company like IOC, we supply some 30 lakh cylinders. Industry as a whole, we supply 60 lakh cylinders every day. At the same time, we supply LPG in bulk. We supply LPG in non-domestic industrial customers. So like our guest from Indian Adani Limited was saying 5 P's of marketing, transition from PNG to LPG. I like to convey that all marketing companies will be extending total support for this transition. Like Suresh Mangalani sir was saying, this is a big challenge and we must compliment Government of Gujarat and Government of India also. Like the kind of policy changes that we have seen last few months, these are unprecedented. Last 30 years, we have not seen any kind of policies that was encouraging PNG as a fuel. But now, the kind of changes that we have seen last few months are unprecedented. In fact, incredible, I can say. And the pace at which we are working, I'm pretty sure, will be definitely achieving this goal of transition from PNG to LPG. LPG, of course, has its own place. PNG, of course, is like rightly said in a state like Gujarat, we have 1.28 crores active LPG customers. However, the PNG customers are only 38 lakhs. So there is a big market. So from the day one, the new policies came, we are working very closely with all the CGD companies. We are working very closely with all the stakeholders to ensure that the maximum transition takes place in shortest possible time. So I once again extend full cooperation, total support. So what I was expecting from this seminar was what kind of cooperation we are seeking from oil marketing company. We are here to support and we have been extending total support. Like I would like to share that when these policies came and there was a request to share the list of our ND&E customers, non-domestic commercial customers, we are the first state in the entire country to share the entire list to the CGD companies. So with that clean heart, open heart, we have extended full support and we will be extending similar kind of support to everyone. India, everybody knows a growing market. It is one of the fastest growing market in the world and our energy appetite is growing at the same time. So all forms of energy can exist together and LPG can complement PNG, PNG can complement LPG at some place of time. But the transition now, as for the vision of the Government of Gujarat, definitely will be steering this transition. And in case you need any kind of specific support from oil marketing companies, please do tell us. And I'm extremely thankful to Avantika Singh Madam also for arranging meeting from time to time. And we have been getting the kind of assistance that we require from CGD companies. And that 100% sure will be extending all support. At the same time, I'd like to thank all the CGD company for extending total support to oil marketing company in establishing CNG stations at our outlets. Gujarat nowadays has 1,000 plus CNG stations and almost 70% at oil marketing companies' outlets. So I must thank the CGD companies for extending support. Similar kind of support will be extending to you in coming days. Please rest assured. At the same time, I like to compliment Gujarat Gas Limited and GSPC for transitioning to Gujarat Energy Limited and wishing all a very happy future. Thank you, everyone.
So we have gone through all the presentation. I thought we'll have one question each for all of you, and if you can answer in like 2-3 minutes, we will be able to close on time, right? So let me start with LC Kumar Abhishek. You mentioned in your presentation around this whole PNG 2.0 drive has created a quite good momentum for the nation, but same time you pointed out the bottlenecks which we are going through all the way from last mile connectivity to permission to skilled manpower. From PNGRB perspective, right, which is the one most urgent, I would say, intervention needed, which would unlock the drive successfully?
Firstly, I don't know if I have used the word bottleneck, then probably, I may be slightly harsh. It's not a bottleneck. These are the, obstacles which may have come. And the fourth bottlenecks which you are referring to, or the four major hindrance which you are referring to, it is dynamic to the entity, and it is also dynamic to the geography. Because the bottlenecks which you are referring to is manpower, upfront cost. So first comes the upfront cost to a consumer, which is 6,000 rupees security deposit. Actually, many CGD entities, they have, mitigated it by coming out with some EMI schemes or daily schemes. Lot of schemes have been introduced by CGD entity. So, yes, there are few CGD entities where pocket is not that deep, so there are issues with them. They are dependent on these security deposit, but that is not an issue at all. That is not that big a issue at all. Second is, of course, last mile connectivity, which the CGD entities, they will have to do aggressive marketing for that. They have already reached there. Unlike few entities like Gujarat Gas and all, where approximately 98% consumers are billed one, but we have some bigger entities where the gap is somewhere around 25 to 30%. So the effort is required to market, to reach out to the consumers more frequently, so that at their convenience this product can be provided. Third is material, which is purely, entities will have to work on that, so that material availability is ensured. It's their management which they have to, do it in whichever best possible way they can. Because the targets right now which we are looking at is not something which is beyond MWP. So this planning has to be done. Last is manpower, is the skilled manpower. Yes, CGD entities cannot, invest in training the manpower at that particular scale. So here the support of the government, both center, state, and as a regulator, we need to, come together so that adequate workforce can be made available. This is through training at various ITIs and making the trainings related to this particular sector as mandatory in most of the ITIs. So that is very much important. So apart from this question, which I think I have answered.
Yeah. Thank you.
Apart from this question now, sir, I answer for you. What we are looking at from the OMCs, because, the CGD entities, there is a lot of pressure on them. They have to acquire new consumers. They have to, get into new household. What we are looking at from the OMCs is to, come shoulder to shoulder, issue notices at first place, number one. And second, the control orders which have been issued, they are very specific, and we need to act in that particular manner. I understand that presently your dealers who have employed manpower to, to deliver cylinders, he'll have to employ more manpower to deliver notices, to, come back and inform you guys that, in this particular household or in this particular society, PNG has reached, and LPG sunset has to be, there. For that, you need to send SMSs to these households, and within the time frame which has been given by Government of India, their connections have to be withdrawn. It becomes at times difficult for the CGD entities to provide you with all the details because they are the prospective consumers, they are not their consumers. So they may not be able to tell you that yes, in this particular society I have X connections, their total is Y, so Y minus X detail they may not be able to fetch it. So probably, you know, equal effort will be required in this national national aim and national goal, so that the LPGs can be withdrawn. But also, to start with, there are approximately 1.2 lakh connections which are quite active. So, and these 1.2 crore connections which are active, their details are there with the LPG, with the CGD entities. Their details can be, you know, handed over, though it has been handed over, but some more clarification, some more doubts, some more address details are required that can be given, so that these LPG cylinders can be withdrawn. Because, you know, many times it has been reported that these LPG cylinders are being used for black marketing. I have a PNG connection also, I have LPG connection also. So presently I am not using that LPG connection, so it is vulnerable for black marketing. So of course in steps it can be done, but you know, we need to withdraw these 1.2 crore LPG connections which are there in the household of the consumers who are already using PNG. So these are the steps. It requires a coordinated effort, and that is why district level committee has been formed, though it has been recently formed, but I am sure that in times to come the committee will interact more frequently for a productive output. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Maybe Vinay, very quickly, if you presented very interesting this model of VMC where you have become more a collaborative planner versus a permission seeker with the city authorities, and that has given you a lot of success, and this whole mindset of thinking gas as an important household utility, right? What one or two points which other CGDs can learn from your entity and, you know, just replicate it to be much faster in terms of PNG 2.0 execution?
Yes, am I audible?
Yep.
Yeah. As I earlier mentioned that this particular product of PNG to the houses was never sold as a commercial product in Baroda. I think much of the credit goes to the bureaucracy at that point of time when they thought of giving it to as a public utility product, not as a commercial product. And the way the water pipelines were being laid by Vadodara Municipal Seva Sadan, and the similar way the gas line was also done, and in 72 we could connect first house in the country through the domestic PNG. Now at present, if I have to replicate, if the country has to replicate the same model, then participation and the collaborative planning are the two things which are the most important aspect for anyone. Like whether, how do you involve the local governance? How do you involve the local governance while implementing any project in the city or in the district? It may be a district authority, it may be a city local governance body also. Very well work has been done by municipal corporation here in Baroda, but when we go to the other parts of the country, the similar story doesn't happen there. And it is just like I'm seeking permission for laying of the pipeline because I want to connect few houses, or I want to lay certain pipelines. But when you are going and shifting from permission seeking to the collaborative planning approach, then both of these bodies work in tandem. And then probably your DSOs in the cities or the district supply officers or your state authorities will be asking you as your own department then what work you have done. I mean, this is something the target which was given way back in last month, and how have you flared up? So whether this kind of review mechanism exists or not in other cities, if it doesn't exist, then we have to ensure that district authorities are taking care of their regular meetings. Like I can give you example of the Vadodara city. यहाँ पे हर मंगलवार को, हर ट्यूसडे को यहाँ पे संकलन मीटिंग होती है, और संकलन मीटिंग में ये हर बार डिस्कस होता है कि गैस का जो सब्जेक्ट है, जो गैस का डिपार्टमेंट में है, उसमें बड़ौदा गैस ने क्या क्या किया. Yeah. तो जब ये रिव्यू कमिश्नर लेवल से होता है वो नीचे डाउन द लाइन परकुलेट होता है. एंटिटी भी परफॉर्म कर रही है, सारे डिपार्टमेंट्स परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं, R&D परफॉर्म कर रही है, PWD परफॉर्म कर रही है. एवरीवन इज डूइंग देयर बिट ऑफ द वर्क एंड दैट्स हाउ द पाइपलाइंस आर लेड. हमने कभी परमिशन मांगी नहीं है VMC से या स्टेट अथॉरिटीज से. उनके साथ मिल बैठ के डिस्कस किया है कि हमको इस एरिया में पहुंचना है और इस तरीके से काम करना है. So this is the way I think we have to work upon. That is the only mantra which I can share with you.
Thank you, Vinay. So, Sureshji, your presentation highlighted some very interesting marketing, because a lot of things you have discussed regulatory things in the all presentation, but you also highlighted upfront low payments, interest-free installments, customer support centers, WhatsApp interactions, right? So this is quite new and I would say refreshing, which is like more a marketing philosophies in the business, right? Which one or two things which other CGDs can learn from your experience, which would have very good impact on the customer experience, and hence the natural ask for, as you said, right? You know, I should get PNG versus LPG. Sorry, sir, but that's one or two initiatives which others can learn from you.
I think, thanks Pawan for asking this question. I think it is not necessarily to look at one or two, but how do we change the mindset to a customer centricity? See, हम लोगों का क्या हो गया है कि we have become an authorized entities. अब वो authorization word itself brings some kick. It should be a responsibility charter. It is not an authorization. Actually, it is a responsibility we had taken as a monopoly to serve the Ahmedabad for 25 years or beyond. Now that's the responsibility to provide PNG connections. So to that, what we have been trained within Adani Group is that our chairman says in any consumer business, if you want to be there, the mindset has to be consumer centricity. That's the reason what Karishma and Pankaj was showing you. It is continuous work on how do we bring customer delightness. So we used to have customer care center, for example. One day we were being reviewed by our chairman and he said, what is customer care? Everybody takes care of himself. ये care क्या होता है? आप इसको change करो, customer care को customer delight center. I would like to see a delight in a customer base. Just for example, I am giving you, there was this order which was issued by MOPNG that now people have to move to the PNG from LPG. And we were expecting there will be a huge rush of a consumer to our customer center, delight center. One way was that our center is quite that way large, but huge crowd comes anyway. So we immediately decided that even overnight, they created a big pandals, created a lot of number of chairs, coolers, water facility, some other things. So we brought it in the manner that because this was a consumer centricity in the minds of the people. Nobody gave them instruction from top. The consumer center head immediately decided to do that. So what I am trying to say, Pawanji, is that it is the whole ecosystem on consumer centricity. It is not one. Whether it is today, for example, ATGL sends, not today, it's been years now, we send 100% bills on WhatsApp. Years, it's not yesterday.
Yeah.
Not a single customer gets a paper bill. But yes, senior citizens, we ourselves gives them this bill. 99.57% money comes digitally to us. 99.57%. Now we are wondering who are these 0.43. And our team is deciphering, is it same customer every time? If yes, we'll give him a mobile. We'll teach him the senior citizen. How do you pay? And we'll download ATGL app in that phone. Or is it different customer, different circumstances? So again, this thought comes in consumer centricity. So in my view, I think we need to become like an FMCG company. If you see today's CNG station of gas, just see CNG station and other petrol pumps of BPCL, for example. You will like to stop on a BPCL petrol pump and use the washroom rather than a CNG station. Because the mindset is we are selling CNG. It's a liquor shop. Even if you have some smell, foul smell coming, people come there. But what comes, why do you do that as a BPCL, as HPCL? Because next door is SPCL pump. Further next door is Reliance Jio BP pump. You need to present yourself in an FMCG manner. Same thing has to happen for a CNG pumps. People have to become, centricity mindset has to be that consumer is coming to my place. Have I kept washroom properly? Is the queuing is happening properly? Is the lighting is proper? Is the way we are handling him proper? Are we doing namaste to him? All that will make a sense of that. As I said since earlier, how do we create this pride of a PNG or CNG? Today people feel CNG is, अरे यार अभी तो EV आ गया. Why CNG is not becoming an urge? Why PNG is not an urge in everybody's mind? कौन कहता है? मैं तो ये सोचता हूँ ना कि आज मैं अपनी वाइफ को बोलूँ कल से LPG लेना है, वो नहीं मानेगी. But why is still Mumbai has 50-60% of LPG? Why Delhi has 54 lakh cylinder of LPG? It's been 30 years, 27 years. We need to find some sort of introspection. There has to be a owner's pride, neighbor's envy. Then you will see PNG transition.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah. Mr. Nawate, your presentation shared one of the very interesting data, right? You have strongest build to connected ratio, which is 98%, right? Now, this journey in urban has been, I would say, easier. But what are your learnings when it comes to rural, coastal, tribal areas, right? How do you maintain the same ratio? And any learnings from GL's journey?
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Pawan. This bill to gas connection is basically a discipline and matter of fiscal discipline and process discipline. And that is how Gujarat Gas has right from day one done the connections. No ready for conversion connection where even thought of, even अभी जैसे हमारा 188 लाख का है और 123 का हमारा जो टारगेट है बिल टू गैस, उसमें 65,000 का RFC चलेगा, ऐसा है. बट it requires lot of effort for me to convince them कि आप RFC करो, because entire mindset is to have a connection, to run entire cycle, to set up infrastructure required and go for it. So that is how it is. But yes, it requires lot of effort on part of the team at ground. So in terms of infrastructure availability comes customer approach and a lot of SLAs to be observed.
Thank you. So my last question to Mr. Dholakia, right? I think so, sir, you made very interesting point of this last 25 meters human problem, right? And it's not an engineering problem. And in your experience, right, what will actually change this last 25 meters, right? What will actually change the customer behavior? Is it pricing, convenience, safety, supply security, or some government incentive, right? What it will take to change it? So that would be interesting to know.
Yes, see, as I said, we in a drive to move this entire PNG infrastructure, the pipelines will get someday it will get late. Somebody would construct in 5 months, somebody can do in 15 months, but with all the challenges, whatever we say, the pipelines will definitely get constructed. We will reach to that last 25 meters of every house. Probably that is the easiest task in this entire chain, I would say. It is the last 25 meters in which you start dealing with the customers. Earlier, historically, what has happened is that this 25 meters was dealt first and then the pipeline was laid. But in this entire rush for this PNG, I think we are laying the pipelines first and dealing with the 25 meters story little late in the journey, and that puts a lot of pressure on the companies because you can't lay pipelines all over the city and keep this last 25 meters open for. I think that it's a matter of time at what earlier it was not done. Now in a rush it is being done. This story will remain, as I said, that 100 rupees, 150 rupees per month of saving is not a sellable commodity now anymore. It is not a very attractive story. Yes, what will change now is this entire LPG withdrawal. This government's directive instructions to take away the LPG from all the charged societies, charged buildings, people who have two connections, both LPG as well as PNG. I think this entire withdrawal of LPG is going to drive people to go more and more and catch that, come forward into that 25 meter. They will travel this 25 meter rather than me traveling as a CGD company traveling this 25 meters. I think that is going to change this entire story. And this LPG withdrawal is a serious matter in this, and this will only drive it, I would say.
Thank you, Mr. Dulakia. Sir, we'll have to close.
One point.
Sure.
Because I think Colonel Kumar Abhishek is here. We should take benefit of his presence here. I think industry is facing a serious issue on that part. I think he gave some support needed from OMCs. We'll request him that we need some support from him as well. I think increasingly the way urbanization is taking place, around 20 to 25% properties are now rental or investment properties. We have frameworks available for electricity connection even for a rental premises. I request Kumar Abhishek ji also to have some sort of a deliberation. What kind of a policy framework we should develop for rental premises to take a PNG connection? This is 20% penetration more.
Correct.
Today we are completely relying on owner's right to say yes and then he gets it. Many rental premises boss मैं लेना चाहता हूँ, मैं connection का cost देना चाह रहा हूँ, but मुझे दे दीजिए. How do we protect his property rights of an owner but still give PNG connection? That I think regulatory framework is required. We can all do it at individual CGD level, but we need a regulatory framework on a right of a rental premises to get a PNG connection. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, we'll close with this, right? I think so. Very interestingly, everybody spoke about LPG is not just LPG to PNG is not just a transition fuel. It's a story about energy security, better urban infrastructure to this nation, cleaner household fuels, a great coordination needed between regulators, gas companies, state institutions, and customer at center of all of this. So thank you, everyone. I'll pass on to Manish.
Thank you, Pawanji. Now it's time for just sharing some memories. So creating memories. I will request Amitabh sir to please give memento to Colonel Abhishek sir. Amitabh sir. I request Upendra Sharma ji to please offer mementos to MD VGL Srivastav sir. I request Navin Sharma ji to offer mementos to Manglani sir. I request again Navin Sharma ji to offer mementos to Nawate sir. Now I request Rahul Mistry ji जो हमारे यहाँ सेंट्रल जोन के सर्कल हेड हैं, काफ़ी मेहनत किया है उन्होंने. So Rahul Mistry will offer to Basis ji. And special thanks to all the state HODs from the OMC marketing companies. So first I will request Dipen sir to offer mementos to Sanjeev Behra sir. I will request Tarun Sharma ji to offer mementos to Sudhir sir ji from HPCL. Tarun bhai, this way. And I will request my colleague Abhishek to come forward to offer mementos to BPCL State Head sir, Shri Achit Bhavsar ji. Abhishek. So a huge round of applause for all the distinguished speakers and eminent audience. They have successfully, given the time valuable time to all of us and enriched all of us by extremely, their field knowledge and information, which will be inspiring for the new generation who are aiming career in CGDs. Thank you, sirs. I request Honorable MD Madam for a group photo, ma'am. Sir, Rajinder sir, please, sir. All the OMC heads, HPCL, IOCL and BPCL. Please, sir. Okay, thank you very much. With this, we end this seminar. And now one more ceremony we are going to have. That will be MOU signing ceremony. For MOU signing ceremony, ma'am, we'll arrange. 1 minute, ma'am. ક્યાં ખુરશી મૂકવાની છે તમે ક્યાં પેલા મેડમ કરે છે આપણે ક્યાં ઊભા છીએ हाँ हाँ इनको यहाँ बिठा दो operation for development of propane and LPG terminal, for development of green ammonia project at GSFC Sikka port. And second MOU is for strategic corporation for development of integrated fertilizer and industrial products complex at Dahej. So these are the two frontier MOUs which we are signing. And now I invite Shri Devendra Agrawal from Gujarat Energy Limited. Please come forward. And I request Shri Bajpai ji, SVP Finance, and Shri A.B. Gupta ji, SVP U and EC from GSFC to come forward and sign MOU. Please come on the stage, sir. I think we can give a huge round of applause. Both MOUs are exchanged? Okay. Please, sir. The second MOU. Thank you, sir. Thank you, MD Madam. Thank you, sir. And thank you. And we wish all the best to both the teams. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all.